America's infrastructure is collapsing right in front of our eyes. Michael Snyder reports, America was once a country that built its stuff. In previous generations of Americans constructed the greatest highways, bridges, railroads, ports, dams, and water systems that anyone had ever seen. Magnificent new megacities were erected from coast to coast, and the rest of the world looked at us with envy. Ultimately, the keys to all of this infrastructure were handed down to us, and we have really messed things up. We don't actually build much of anything these days. In fact, we can't even maintain the infrastructure that we have been given. As a society, we have become extremely lazy and extremely incompetent, and so the great civilization that our forefathers built for us is now crumbling right in front of our eyes. The American Society of Civil Engineers gives America's infrastructure a grade every few years, and the last time they issued the report, we were given a C-. In its latest infrastructure report card, the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, gave the United States a C-, citing its crumbling public roads, aging bridges, and deteriorating water mains. Personally, I believe that a C- grade is extremely generous. After what we have witnessed in recent months, I'm entirely convinced that we deserve an F grade when the next report is released in 2025. America is literally falling apart all around us, and a few years ago the Volcker Alliance estimated that there is a $1 trillion backlog of repairs that desperately needs to be done. I know that New York City is the streets are full of potholes. It's just terrible. Now, the United States is constantly falling short on funding infrastructure maintenance. A report by former Federal Reserve Board Chairman Paul Volcker's Volcker Alliance in 2019 estimated the U.S. has a $1 trillion backlog of needed repairs, over 220,000 bridges across the country. About 33% of the total require rehabilitation and replacement. A water main break now occurs somewhere in the U.S. every 2 minutes. Can you imagine? And an estimated 6 million gallons of treated water are lost every day. This is happening at the same time when the Western United States is implementing water restrictions amid the driest 20-year span in 1,200 years. Can you imagine? Similarly, drinking water distribution in the United States relies on over 2 million miles of pipes that have limited lifespans. In 2022, 60 Minutes did a major report about our crumbling infrastructure, and a debilitated section of I95 Pennsylvania that runs right through Philadelphia was specifically featured during that show. In Philadelphia, Croft reported on a highly trafficked section of I-95 in need of repair. Those improvements are now underway and scheduled to continue until at least 2028. The unmistakable orange construction signs along I-95 will soon appear on roads around the U.S. Philadelphia's I-95 corridor is only a small portion of the 43% of U.S. roads that the 2021 report by the American Society of Civil Engineers said needs to be fixed. Sure enough, the repairs never got done, and a portion of the highway completely collapsed on Sunday. Human remains have been found in the wreckage of the Interstate 95 collapse at Philadelphia. Part of the major U.S. highway, which extends from the Maine-Canada border south all the way to Miami, Florida, collapsed on Sunday after a tanker truck carrying an estimated 8,500 gallons of fuel caught fire. Approximately 150,000 vehicles would normally travel through there every day, but now traffic patterns have been thrown into a state of chaos, and we're being told that it's going to take months to make the highway operational again. Can you imagine? I-95 is going to take months to repair, sparking chaos on the major interstate that funnels 150,000 vehicles across the East Coast every single day, officials have warned. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro last night said the highway was going to take some months before it's running smoothly again following the overpass collapse. Of course, if this happened in China, the Chinese would probably have the road open up again in a matter of days. They know how to do infrastructure, but we don't, it seems. So now, thousands upon thousands of trucks will have to find new routes, and this will cause significant supply chain headaches for the foreseeable future. Our railroads are falling apart as well, and this has had disastrous consequences. We all saw what happened in East Palestine, Ohio earlier this year, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. Last year there was more than 1,000 train derailments in the United States, 1,000. When you break that down, it comes to an average about 3 every single day. There were at least 1,164 train derailments across the country last year, according to data from the Federal Railroad Administration. That means the country is averaging roughly 3 derailments per day. I'm certainly not eager to hop on a train anytime soon, are you? Of course, I'm not particularly eager to jump on a plane either. At this point, our airports are about 40 years old on average, and they desperately need billions upon billions of dollars worth of repairs and improvements. In the American Society of Civil Engineers 2021 report card for America's infrastructure, U.S. airports earned a D+ for both condition and needs. It's estimated that they will need $115.4 billion over the next 5 years to address these infrastructure challenges. Roughly half of all planned airport projects between 2021 and 2025 are terminal related. At many airports, building upgrades are needed to increase the number of gates and accommodate larger jet aircraft. Flexible and automated baggage handling systems, dynamic wayfinding, and queue management systems projects are needed to ease crowding and improve circulation. It's frankly embarrassing to compare our rundown airports to the shiny new airports that are going up in Asia and in Europe, but this is our country now, and we are a rundown people that live in a rundown society that's literally crumbling all around us. The truth is the United States has been an empire in decline for decades, and the outlook for the future is extremely bleak if we stay on the road that we are currently on. Sadly, many people don't care for such warnings. Most of them are just going to keep partying for as long as they can, and a lot of them will never realize what's happening until it's far too late to do anything about it. This is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my articles. I have published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material containing this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.